beating the enemy duo so important, and they're gonna get it here. And we'll see if they turn on any action.
Right, with the tight Caller's Blessing as well. So Violet gets that level 2 and Minus taking a whole lot of damage in that one. Shin is just right around the back lines and does look like this time around Violet is unable to get the bubble as well because he chose to level up that W, that heal first.
Yeah, so not able to get that bubble because, well, he didn't add it yet, ladies and gentlemen.
He doesn't need the bubble just of yet. And now we see SF5 Yushin moving down to the bottom lane, and we might see that stun coming in over here, but doesn't look like the speed up coming in for Violet will be able to get him to safety. As now we look at the top lane, Mew starting to come up slowly ahead, but in a sense, that early game Lee Sin's strength, we cannot forget about that.
Right, goes in for the body slam, trades some damage, and you know, there's something that we have to really consider when it comes to Gragas, and just in terms of his sustain, not only his passive, but that flat amount of damage reduction he gets. So, you know, yes, Lee Sin able to sustain with, you know, rather short cooldowns and a nice shield, good mobility, but wow, just in terms of numbers, I'm very interested to see if this Lee Sin pick will work out.
I guess for NFL here, they have to kind of focus the strengths up in the top lane as well to just get that.
We see at least coming from the side.
Right, so SF5 is joining the fray here. The body slam actually keeps going into place here, and the execute coming in from SF5 with the fangs sinking into Goni over here. First blood for him. And that's a great way to start things off.
Right, so great play by NFL. Knowing the nature of the matchup, we said that Goni had to play aggressive, shove Gragas into his tower, and NFL making the call to send their jungler for that gank on top, securing the first blood. Great start by NFL.
That's right, and they have to keep this momentum going as well, just like what we mentioned. And Goldie now, I think Yushin might have to revisit this top lane again as he picks up the golem over here. We actually see a gank coming in. Looks like Yushin is one level below SOFN.
That's gotta be the saddest Spartan out there. He is barefoot, no boots, unable to lock down his spider counterpart.
Couldn't really find the man mode in.
Yeah, he couldn't find it. So mid lane we saw things all even, a bit of poke going down in bottom. But good to point out that Goni did burn both his summoners in the top lane. Bubble catches.
Right, so Minas will take some heavy damage from there. Actually, Vigo's supposed to join into fray, and they focus their efforts down to Violet. He actually goes down to Vigos because of the ignite, and now Shin has to be forced to run away from this one. And Minas is just right around the back. Vigos is looking for the Zenith Blade, and he gets it in as well. The Zap follows through. Barra gets well as well. The flash coming in from Minas is going to be the kill coming in for Minas over there, and a great kill for the SF5 bottom lane. But meanwhile, on the top lane, Mew is finding himself in some trouble over here, and his Sonic Wave connects as well.
Oh, wow.
Mew will use that body slam to get
away. So action going on all over the map. We just saw Lee Sin flying from like across continents basically. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, so NFL gets one kill. SF5 says, enough! We're gonna take two back. And they answer with a double, not a double kill in bottom. One goes to the support, one goes to the AD carry, but nonetheless, burning summoners of both of those in the bottom lane. They trade summoners, but they come up with the kill, so
yeah,
well played by SF5.
Spreading the love all around as well, so because of that, Vigos will be able to pick up that early side stone to sort of maintain the vision control as they would like to have it. And SYFM now investing that early pink ward into that small bridge towards the river there. So if Yushin just managed to walk by and just pick it up for themselves, then it would effectively be gold being invested in the wrong area. Because I think I have to reference this to the Cloud9 game when we saw Meteors actually pick up a lot of early pink wards, but eventually it didn't pay off because, it was the game against CLG, and actually before that we do see SOFM jumping onto Vigos over here, and Vigos will be forced to run off, and the it's gonna land on Minas over there, and the execute comes in from Violet actually, so he will get the kill. And SF5 not really in area to try to respond to that, and Minas here kind of overextending.
So I feel that right now what we're seeing is a case of the junglers really controlling the tempo of the game. We see SOFM, well, he just caught sight of that ward, he knows it's there, but SOFM with the early Sorcerer Shoe buy, he really wants to play aggressive, wants to get those kills for his team. And as you saw, his aggression pays off. Again, he visits bot lane, knows that there's no summoners available in that lane, manages to secure the kill. Of course, it goes to the support, but nonetheless, it evens out the lane, and that's what's important.
And it's very important as well. So SOFM, having that pink ward invested, eventually did go down to Yushin, but it was at a point where SOFM actually had that assist and that kill up for him already, so not too much of a problem for him. And now Starfall having the blue buff and the new mid laner for NFL over here. So let's see how he's going to perform. So far, doing pretty well against Nixwater, having that good CS advantage and having the Chalice of Harmony completed as well, having that extra Doran's ring. So he should be able to trade pretty effectively with Nixwater at this point of time.
Right, so we do see some item discrepancies coming to light now with Orianna securing that lead. She does have a Doran's up on her respective mid laner, Nixwater. But however, the big news is that in bottom lane, Jinx has already hit that BF sword. So Minas will be very happy with that. Going to be able to harass a lot with those auto attacks. And you can see that NFL doesn't want any of that at all. They just want to take as much farm as safely as possible, get the double golems, and Starfall is... Could this be a sneaky dragon by NFL?
Right, but
the pings are coming down.
The pings are coming down. Does look like Saigon Fantastic 5 wants to respond to this. Because it's level 6, he does have that solar flare, but
it's very precarious. But they do manage to secure it with hardly a contest.
And yeah, it was a 4-man attempt as well. So SF5 not really in position to try to contest for that. And we are hitting a stage where it might be quite difficult for Yushin to come in for the gang now, because everyone has got that ultimate radiant available for them. And who are you going to gang? Are you going to gang that top lane Gragas? He's just going to throw explosive cast. Are you going to go for Starfall? If he lands one good command shockwave, then that's the end for you. And are you going to go for that bottom lane? Violet's just going to catch you up with the tidal wave. So they have to coordinate that.
Here comes the man drop.
There we go, the man drop. As I said, and the command shockwave actually comes in. But it does look like that's not going to connect as well. And the rocket, so it looks like SF5 making me eat my words. I'm so sorry.
Meanwhile in the top lane.
So meanwhile in the top lane, Goldie now going low with the ignite as well. Mew should be able to finish up the kill here, and Goldie actually dashes out of the way, so he will survive. Very close call for him. And what a way to actually start things all up in the top lane once again.
So SF5 making Chris eat his words.
Oh
but
my
goodness, God. Wow, you know, that was a really close fight in the middle there. That gank almost failed because Pantheon actually missed his Heartseeker strike. Managed to get the crit as Orianna was low enough with her spear. Unfortunately, Starfall did have to flash, but it still cost him his life. So summoner down, and you know, mid lane, with those summoners down, don't be too surprised if we see that man drop coming in again. But one thing I want to touch on now that there's a lull in the action finally is that timing on NFL for that dragon. They secured their own blue buff very rapidly, and then they went straight to dragon, because they knew that enemy jungler would be caught up in their own blue buff. And if you can see the vision right now, SF5 actually has the vision advantage around Dragon, but they were too busy taking their blue buff. NFL abuses that fact, really capitalizing on the enemy's weaknesses right there. So great play by them. Even after that kill in mid lane, I still think they're in this.
Right, that's right. So in that sense, like I was talking about Pantheon, I was about to say that it needs a bit of careful coordination, but looks like Nixwater managed to find it, and Yushin was able to come in for the kill there, and now back into the bottom lane. So things have kind of sort of quietened down for a bit now that the dragon is gone.
You mentioned coordination, but how exactly do you tell your friends you're going to be dropping on somebody's head?
Well, that's that circle appearing.
You drop them an SMS and be like, hey bro, going to be dropping on the enemy's head in 2 seconds. Just be ready.
Yeah, give them a... I have no idea.
Tidal wave comes in.
Right, so the tidal wave comes down to Minas as well. He's taking a whole lot of damage, has to flash, but the solar flare comes through. Minas is actually going to be the one to secure the kill. That calling comes through. Shin is not going to be able to follow up with that damage, and Yushin will be right around the corner, but Starfall is ready available to follow up. And there we go with the wild growth, but Starfall not managing to pull it fully off, and Minas will chase onto Violet here. Does look like the Zap will follow through as well. Minas picks up another kill for himself.
Great shot.
So 3-for-0 trade in favor of Saigon Fantastic 5, and they will continue to push on this bottom turret.
And I just want to say that Yushin, with his play right there, perfect game sense, knew that the bottom lane would try and get a little bit aggressive, and he was there even without his ultimate. So if something else happens across the map right now, which is unlikely because the mid lane was taken out in that fight as well, he has his ult ready. So great game sense by Yushin to be at the right place in the right time, just turning that around fantastically. And guess what? Jinx is 3-1-2, money in the bank. When she goes back, don't be too surprised. That turns into a Bloodthirster right there, right then.
Right, so we will go into a replay to see the action down the bottom lane as we see actually Yushi jumps onto Starfall here. He wants to pull off the shockwave, but at the very last moment, Yushi just lands that auto attack for the kill. And Minus just using cleanup duty here, just chasing with that fish bones as well. And there we go, the Zap here will pick up the kill.
Right, so great play by SF5 right there, really knowing the strengths of their comms. You saw Nick's water popping up. Wow, what is going on here? Goodness me.
A preview into next match, I think, the overlay.
So this overlay is a future overlay for our next match, but we are not in the next match, so hopefully we can clear that up for you.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. We're back into the current match. So let's just take stock, now that that overlay is gone. Take stock of the situation. SF5 ahead by a tower, 4 kills. Have somewhat of a goal lead, 1.2, nothing too much yet, but the way they're playing this, just having the match.
Oh, the solar flare from Vegas there, and the man drop actually get cancelled off because I think he suffered the fact that he was not locked up in the solar flare, and SF5 was actually right around the corner as well, so he decides to back off. You know, he decides to reserve his manliness just for another day.
Yeah, that's the thing. You know, as I was saying, how do you communicate with your friends that you're coming in? Well, first of all, tell them to land their skill shots because that solar flare, unfortunately, by Vigos, a little bit off, but right call by SF5 to say, all right, we screwed up here. Don't worry about it, guys.
Right, so he will live to drop another day, and now Vegas will be moving back into the bomb lane. And speaking about keeping track of items over here, Minus now having their Bloodthirst is completed as compared to only the BF sword and the pickaxe on the side of Shin. So Minus should be able to trade quite effectively at this point.
Yeah, but I really like what NFL is doing here. They know they're a little bit behind in this lane, so they keep going back to take the double golems or farm. SOFM has been coming down again, but again, Yushin with his game sense, knowing where exactly he is, always being able to match and ready for that aggression, turns it around. And the thing is, the lanes are becoming really uneven, and it's starting to get a little scary for NFL because we can see in the mid lane as well. Well, Starfall just picked up his Athenes, but Nick's Water had that about 2 or 3 minutes ago already, and SF5 sensing that they have the advantage, start off the Dragon immediately. NFL is nowhere close to contest this.
Yeah, and great timing as well. You know, they saw for the fact they had it timed well, and we saw the likes of Goni, even him, he moved down to the Baron Pit, so no questions asked. That was a pretty easy Dragon for them. But here we go with the man drop over here. Starfall is a world trouble. Oh, there we go with the drop at him. Wow, bro. It was just thrown at him to get the disengage off, but that was a 2 ultimate trade, no, actually 3 ultimate trade for 2, so it's just putting down the intimidation onto NFL there.
So many ultimates burn there. I hope we can get a replay of that, because what happened was that it looked like Nick's Water used Yushin as the knockup platform, and then Mew was just like, you know what, you got knockups, I got knockups, but bottom lane more action.
Right, speaking of knockups, Vigo's now actually going up to the tidal wave. Shin tries to follow up with the damage, and the Aqua Prison actually follow up, but the Culling is not going to connect at all. Does look like Shin will not follow through with the damage. The Ignite gets popped as well, but he is not going to go down. SYFM wants to make something happen in the top lane. That's not going to happen anytime soon. Now Minas gets the zap onto Shin. Look at that chunk of damage just from that one spell.
Wow, so you can see that the different focuses after that hectic mid-fight the teams are putting on. You know, SOFM decides to go top, a bit questionable given that you're trying to gank a Lee Sin, extremely flexible. Plus Gragas had just used his ultimate, you know, Mew doesn't have that knockback available to him, but I think that they're going to focus on the tower.
That's just going to face roll and take out the turret. That's their primary concern. We don't need to get the Monk here, we just need to get the turret. Get the extra gold, spread it among the team, and I guess it's a great objective control on their own end as well.
Right, so if you think about what happened at bot lane, that aggression that NFL was showing wasn't so much so that they could secure kills, because it was a bit of a stretch, you know, you're going after a tanky Leona,
right.
Jinx still has her summoners, but it was so that they could free up the map pressure, bring Yushin down, drag him down, and make sure that he wasn't at top lane to stop that push. So great play by NFL again. SF5 gets Dragon, NFL still has their head in this game. Gold gap is increasing a little bit, but I'm really liking this strategic play by them. Great decision making.
Right, so the next question here is, what's the area of focus? I mean, there has been a lot of map movements coming in, especially for both Vigos and Yushin as well. So what do you think is going to be the next lane to look out for these two teams here.
Right, so with the bottom tower down on NFL side, they really have to be careful of the man drop coming down from them because they have no tower to retreat to.
Okay.
Plus such a big advantage. Well, I'd say it's a big advantage, but really in terms of mobility, I guess Orianna and Lulu could be matched. They both have speed ups. So I think it really comes down to if the man drop occurs in bottom lane, are the mid laners there to help? And if so, whichever mid laner reaches first will be able to contribute, take down the target, and they win that fight. However, it seems that NFL will just be going to the root of the problem, pushing up mid lane.
That's right, so they want to just pretty much move through here, and now Goni trading back and forth with Mew here, and now Mew having that some fire escape complete on his own
Yeah,
end.
Mew's not too happy at that. Kick a man while he's taking a drink.
And the explosive cast goes down to Goni as well. Goni will just kick him back in this one. The body slam connects with the flash. Mew picks up a clean kill onto Goni here. The power of the tank dragger is up in the top lane, ladies and gentlemen.
So, we called into question what exactly the Vietnamese teams would be bringing to counter this top Gragas, and it seems that in terms...
Lee Sin is not the answer.
seems that Lee Sin is not the answer because, well, I mean, for a monk actually, Lee Sin's pretty rude, For a monk, Lee Sin is actually really rude. He throws things at you, he flies in your face, he kicks you while you're taking a drink. I think he deserves to be beaten for that.
Oh, that's exactly why he kicked him, because he was drinking. Because I think for most parts, monks just want to promote that no alcohol.
Man drop coming in.
So man drop down to Starfall here, he will get it in. And the lockup coming in for Nixwater, he might actually go down, he will choose to flash away from that one. Minas picks up the kill, and SF5 from the side will pick up the kill onto Nixwater there. Tidal Wave comes through, and Vigas now jumping into fray. The fearless support will only go down to the Carling there, and SOFM getting locked out from Yushin. He will flash off as well, but look out, Mill is right around the corner. The body slam is going to connect through. Double kill now goes down to Shin there, and a great turnaround for NFL.
Great move there by NFL. Props to Starfall for getting his ulti off before he went down. And that actually stalled them long enough for the rest of the team to come in. And you could just see how ready they are. Gragas, Mew, even without its ultimate, making the move down from top lane. Great team decision right there to come and flank, securing them the double kill. And that's really something that Lucian needs because Jinx is 4-1-2. Going more into the attack speed now, we see Lucian still sticking with that pickaxe, could be going to that, that Legolas build, which the EU people tend to favor, where you go Last Whisper after Bloodthirster just for that armor pen, and your spells hurt like mad. And, it works out on Lucian.
Right, so we will be taking a replay actually to see what happened down the mid lane. So Starfall getting jumped on here, and the Shockwave actually locks Nixwater up. He will choose to flash away, but only to meet up with the Spider. So SOFM gets a easy kill from that one, and then that's where everything just turned around for NFL, and this Tidal Wave was able to lock up Yushin into place. Lygos was just way out of line there, so he just went down in the process. Yushin jumping in and using the flash to go out, but only to meet into Mew.
Meanwhile, we have more action breaking out live right now. Actually, if we can get back to that, that'd be great.
Right, so there we go. Now Mew actually almost going down to the Super Mega Dive Rocket up here. Lygos is forced to run off, but Shin now will pick up the kill with the red buff, sticking on to the opponent. So no. So he almost went down there, but that's not the case here. And once again, NFL turning things around for themselves here, picking up one more kill and forcing Vigas away. And with Dragon now back up, NFL is in the primary position to take it. Looks like that's going to be the case. Not much contest, in fact, no contest at all is going to come up from SF5. So they will pull the goal lead, in fact, in their favor. It's minute now, but at least it's something to work with.
Right, so very questionable decision by SF5 right there. Charging down the mid lane, they were able to secure one kill on the support, but they didn't manage to take any objectives. And, with the turnaround kills and the dragon, NFL comes out of that feeling very, very happy. And Shin also, we didn't see it on screen, but he was able to pick up quite a lot of that massive creep wave at bottom. So I do feel that SF5 has kind of thrown away. It was a little bit of a lead, but they were making aggressive moves. But credit to NFL for being ready for that. Ready for SF5 to try to take advantage of that lead. And now NFL is the one with the lead, tied up in objectives, got the most recent dragon, taking the gold lead now.
Right, and not only that, they carefully planned the kills as well, because if you look at the numbers, Shin was falling behind for quite a bit against Minas, but because of that 3 kills he managed to pick up in the last 5 minutes or so, he managed to somewhat claw himself back up, and because of the fact he has a CS advantage over Minas at this point of time, he should be somewhat even in goal now, and having the same amount of items. In fact, he is ahead by 1 pickaxe.
Yeah, very happy 80 carry on the side of NFL now. Interesting build choice by him. You know, I thought he was going to go that Legolas build with the pickaxe in there. I guess he wanted that just for some extra damage. But, you know, a lot of times you see Lucien going for that Triforce to synergizes. Excuse me. Synergizes so well with his passive, but he's just going for straight up Phantom Dancer now. Wants that crit and attack speed and mobility. You know, Lucien already very mobile. Oh, could we see it? Good. No. Come on.
He's waiting for it.
He's waiting for it. Decides, you know what? I'm so man. I'm not gonna drop on people. I'm gonna be a bit more courteous. I'm gonna be a gentleman and take wolves.
Well, I think it's just very what should I call it? He's just waiting for the right time. You know, you can't go YOLO all the time. You need to find the time to man up and make it.
They should make gentleman Pantheon the skin. And he only drops on people before he knocks. So the circle, you know.
So what's he gonna wear?
It's like a flowery circle. You know, it's like a ring of flowers. And it's like, hi, I'm coming in.
What's he gonna
wear? I hope you don't mind. He's gonna wear a suit.
Yeah, suit.
All gentlemen wear suits.
Like the ones that we're wearing.
Like your casters, your dear casters, wearing our swag suits.
Swag suits.
Swag suits. Gentlemen and swag. All right, a little bit of desync there, but okay. So coming back to the game, we see. I guess both teams realize that hey, you know what's going on here. Things have evened out a little bit. Both teams have taken bites out of each other. In terms of items, we do see that Starfall has hit his Rabadon's death cap, so big power spike for him there. His counterpart, Nyxwater, not able to complete his Nyx big core item yet, which would be that Lich Bane. So I think they're just stalling out for some of those items. Could the big man try and go on the monk? No. Nope. Are they going to force the issue and go on Baron? Wow.
Wow, they're actually, like you mentioned, they're actually going for it, and with so much tankiness on the side of the
how fast they're taking it down.
Yeah, so will we actually see the steal coming in from Goni here? We have to remember the Solar Flare not actually catching anyone else, and the Tidal Wave now coming through for Violet there. And look like we got the steal with Goni
gets it this whole time. Minas is in the bottom lane pushing. Oh, this is such a big mistake by NFL.
What a turnaround, and now SF5 is collapsing onto NFL over there. And Minas is down by himself in the bottom lane. Actually, NFL wants to find the fight. The calling comes down as well. Goni has to run away here. Shin picks up the kill on the Rampage. Yushin has to run around, but Minas picks up the bomb lane in the meantime. Nyxwater has to be forced to run out from this one now. And this shockwave keeps him back into this one. Nyxwater will go down in the process, and does look like Vygos is the only one left surviving. He picks up the kill though. So it does look like Vygos has to choose to run from this one. The fat man now slams onto him. It does look like Violet is going to be the one, and SOFM actually meeting up with Minas over here. Minas will choose to fight. He can't run away. It's an ace for NFL over here. And you know, they lost the Baron, but they got those 5 kills for themselves. 5 for 1 trade. And in that sense though, SF5 picked up the bottom lane turret. It's going to open up the doors for them to have the super minions into their base.
Wow, that was just a crazy 2 or 3 minutes that went on there. So much action. NFL starts off the risky Baron. If you just take a look at the vision, both teams had so much. In fact, there was a pink ward in the bush. And goodness, okay, we're going to be heading into a replay, so we'll talk a little bit about that later. Take us through this, Chris.
So what happened over here? NFL, they were pretty confident about this, but Goni making the play, stealing away the Baron. Super Mega Death Rocket comes through, and Shin here. Actually, SF5 wanted to stop the recall, but for themselves, they got caught out over here, and the Wild Growth for Vegas will keep him alive for a short while longer. Goni now taking a whole lot of damage, and it was just NFL collapsing through, and Shin using that, just using the damage to get off the kill there. And everyone's just chasing in, and Nyxwater over here will go down because of the shockwave. So it was just easy cleanup duties for NFL in the end.
Right, so risky move by NFL does not pay off. Really got to give it to Goni for that, because hey, Yushin wasn't even in the area.
Yeah.
No smite on their team, yet Goni gets it. So the monk may be a rude monk, but he sure knows how to take things away from enemies. So even more rude, taking things away from the enemy team. But you know,
He might be a blind monk,
Might be a blind monk,
but he could get the kick in. He could see where the kick was going.
he knew what he was doing right there.
Right, and now Mew wanting to make the move on the Minus over there will use the explosive cast, and now Goni comes back into the area, will slow him down, kicks him into Minus, and Mew has nowhere to run. The zap keeping him slowed as well. 5-man collapse onto him,
Wow.
and Nick's Water eventually being the one to pick up the kill. With the kill secured as well, they will push on to the top lane.
So League of Knockups right there. Greg is using his knockup, and then, you know, Lee Sin just kicking him back to the team. Now the siege continues. Baron buff has been effectively wiped off from the SF5 team because of the ace.
Yep.
So we'll see how they handle this siege. I do think that with the poke coming out from Jinx, as well as Lulu, if you get off a few good help picks, but we see the flank coming from Goni. Could he try something crazy?
I would love to see that happen, but the Dragon Rage is not up actually. So we might see him just wait around for a little bit. And the man drop now comes in from the back, and the solar flare as well. Everything collapsing onto NFL, but they're fighting in turret range. Nick's Water will go down to Shin in the process. The culling comes down as well, and everything just being thrown. And Goni will use that Sonic Wave to back out using the help of the Wave there. And that's why FM catching Yushin with the Cocoon, and a great Outgroup Prison is going to lock out SF5 over here. Shockwave lands as well, and it is going to be a turnaround for NFL down in their turret range. 4-for-0 exchange. No one on their side went down.
Wow, so this is just a back and forth game. You know, one team takes Baron and an inhibitor. They start to do a bit of a siege. You know, I was talking about their siege, and then Yushin just goes, you know what? Screw the siege. I'm jumping in. This time Solar Flare again misses, but with Pantheon already jumping in, they had committed to that fight. And wow, again SF5, you know, I felt that they could have just been a bit more patient with that, wait for the super minions to push out in the bottom lane, but I just feel an overcommitment right there, and NFL firmly in control of this game, I feel. You know, they've got the lane shoving, except for bottom lane, of course, with the inhibitor down.
So at least SF5, they managed to pick up the Dragon for themselves, so they will finally sort of stretch that goal lead just for a little bit, but it's still very even for this game. And you know what, Flavors? I think you have to tank both teams now. You know, NFL, they have an explosive spring season debut in this match. And I guess this is the best way to kind of kick off your debut as a caster as well.
Definitely. You know, if you're going to be missing from your game number 1, make sure you come into game 2 and make a huge bang. And they're doing it.
I love this guys already. I have no issues from for them missing in action, if this is the kind of action that they will bring to us in the subsequent matches. And meanwhile, back into this game, looks like some of the major items are being completed on both teams here. Now Nick's Water having that Lich being completed, having that extra needlessly large fraud as well. So a lot more utility going to come in from his end. So I think that Whimsy is just going to speak anyone up for a long amount of time and for a huge movement boost. I
do want to qualify my statement just now when I feel that NFL had the better map control.
Yes.
I just feel that, because you can see they're down in tower inhibitor, and I really have to credit SF5 for being able to make those calls. You know, it's not often you just send your AD carry, unless you're double lift, to go and split push, but, well, they did it great.
That's right, and for the most part, I thought that NFL, they played a beautiful game. They had most of the map control on their own end in the early game stages, but eventually SF5 managed to pull through